I've always loved the acronym TIME: taxes, inflation, mistakes, and emergencies. It's so important to remember we're only here on the blue planet for a very short visit. So we have to make every day count. And when we do that, we just enter the world each morning with a more abundant thinking peace of mind. I was very privileged to spend 3 days with a woman named Nancy Klein, who taught me time to think. And it really is about becoming a great listener, because it's not important what I want to think about or what I want to talk about. If I'm working with you as a client, I need to understand what you want to think about. So in that conversation, if I can ask you that question, listen without judgment, not give you any feedback, I will continue to hear you think. And the more you think and talk, the smarter you're going to think I am. I was very fortunate to have a mentor. His name was Chief. And when I met him, he first asked how old I was. I said 22. And he said, well, you haven't got a snowball's chance in hell of doing this. Do something else. When you're 35, come back. And I said, well, sir, I'm doing this. I just called you out of courtesy. So I spent the day with him. He gave me a book at the end of the day. And instead of going back to school to graduate, I went home to see my mother and told her I'd just taken a career in the insurance industry. And after she fainted and I picked her up, I said, Mom, I've also met this wonderful gentleman, Chief. So I read the book that night, called him the next morning. And I said, that was an incredible book. I just spent 4 years at the College of William and Mary. It's pretty good education. I've learned more in the book. He said, what do you mean? I said, page 38, 78, 112. He said, you read the book? I said, yes, sir. You told me to read the book. He said, you come to my house tomorrow for lunch. So the question is, are we coachable? Somebody used that word. And I said, yes, sir, I'll be coachable. He said, well, if you can do that, you'll have a great career. So what happens in the private and family business market that our firm works with is people are lonely. Owners, entrepreneurs, they tend to be lonely people. It doesn't have to be that way. What they're looking for is someone who will give them both the space and the time to think. Now what's interesting is it'll be 50 years, Christmas Eve this year, that my father died. And it was one of those situations where he died, no goodbyes, and that was it. He was a World War II vet. On D-Day, his boat engine broke, so he didn't get to land, but he got caught up at the Battle of the Bulge, so that more than made up for any lost time on D-Day. But it's taken 50 years for me to gain the self-awareness of maybe what he went through to try to live through that. So when I meet with clients today, it's to get their story so that we can better serve them, their company, their employees, and what they want. And that's abundance thinking.